Hi friends, it's Joan at 10 Pentacles Tarot, and today we are going to do lesson 4 of my series Tarot 101 for beginners. So if you missed the first lessons, number 1 was what is tarot, and choosing your first deck. Lesson number 2 was all about the anatomy of a tarot deck, or what you can expect to find in your deck. And also lesson 3 was on the Major Arcana. Now today, lesson 4, I'm going to begin talking about the Minor Arcana, which will be the suits of Wands, Cups, Swords, and Pentacles. And I'm going to be using my Radiant Rider-Waite Tarot, which we talked about in lesson 1. And I'm also going to do a comparison with the Light Seers Tarot, which we also talked about in lesson 1. So any deck that you have that is corresponds to the Rider-Waite Smith images will work just fine for this. Yeah, there are many out there with many themes, but basically the meanings of the cards are the same. Now, when we talk about the Minor Arcana, let's just review quickly. The Minor Arcana are cards about things that happen in your everyday life. Now, the most important thing in learning to read the tarot is to use your intuition. Take a look at the cards. Just look at them. Don't worry about book meanings or anything like that at first. Just focus on what the card says to you. What does the card say to you? Okay, and we're going to look at them. Of course, there are ace through 10 in each suit, and there are also 4 court cards, a knight. I'm trying to fit these all in here. A page, a knight, a queen, and a king, and we will talk about all of those as well. I am just trying to see how I can fit these all on here. And if I move my candle, I might fit one more. I'm hoping when the screen shrinks down for the actual video, that you will still be able to see everything. I'll hold each card up as we talk about it. So even if they shrink away, you'll still be able to see them. Okay, now, these are in my screen, so hopefully that is what you are seeing as well. All right, so let's talk about the suit of Wands first. And like I said, the first thing you're going to do is you are going to look at the card and see what it says to you. Okay, for example, the ace. Here is a hand reaching out of the clouds, handing you a budding staff or a wand. Okay, aces are usually about new beginnings. Someone's handing you something that has the potential to grow. Okay, so here is a river in the front. There's some trees. There's a castle on the hill, and there's some mountains in the background. So each of those elements, the castle, the mountains, the trees, the river, those may all mean something to you that they don't mean to me. And that's okay. And that's why with every tarot reader you go to, you're going to get different meanings. And that's all right. That is perfectly fine. Because they are picking up the energy of the card. And the universe knows, this is going to sound weird, but the universe knows what that card means to each reader. And so the correct card will come up in the reading that needs that card. Okay, so here we have the Two of Wands. This one pictures a man. He's looking out over the ocean. He's holding onto a wand. There's another one behind him. It looks like a gateway to me. He's holding the world in his hand, and he's looking out, and to me, he's saying, wow, what does the world have to offer? What is out there for me? All right, let's look at card 3. And again, your meaning may be completely different. In card 3, we have a man who, and I'm saying man, this could be for any gender. These are not gender specific. This is just, happens to be a man in the picture. So if you're a woman, this could still apply to you as well. Now, again, this person's holding onto their sword. There are their staff, their budding staff. So there's 2 staffs on the side he's holding. There's one behind him. which to me means he's surrounded by things that have the opportunity to grow. Now, he's looking out over the ocean or the sea, and there are several boats in here. He's standing up on a high level, so he's at a position of advantage to see what the future might be bringing him. Okay, he's looking to see, are my ships coming in? Maybe he's thinking, what can I do to make my ships come in? All right, so this to me is about planning for the future. In card number 4, we see 4 wands, and here we have a garland. This represents maybe a celebration. There's 2 people who look like they're celebrating. Maybe it's a wedding. Here's some guests who look like they're having fun in the background. There's a castle, and also these 4 wands to me also represent stability. So this can be stability, this can be celebration. What does it mean to you? What does the couple with their arms up mean to you? What does the castle mean to you? These are all things that can be important to you. And when you look at a card, what is it that pops out to you? What is the first thing you notice about that card? Because that is going to be an important point in your reading. That's going to be important. Now, one time in this card, the 5 of Wands, maybe one time the crossed wands will stick out to me. Maybe the next time I look at it, this particular person and his stance will stick out to me. Maybe another time something else will seem important. So when I look at this card, I see people fighting. They're challenging one another, but they don't look super angry. They just look like they're maybe having a petty argument, or, you know, a contest to see who's better, like my wand's bigger than yours. Oh my goodness. Anyway, so this card tends for me to be about petty arguments and competition of some kind. Okay, then we have the 6 of Wands. Now here we have a man on a horse. He has a wreath of victory. So, to me, we can assume he is victorious over something. He also has an audience, and these people are all holding wands with buds on them, okay? So he's brought something to life. He is being noticed by people, and he has gotten victory in some way. Then we have the 7 of Wands. Now, the 7 of Wands, we have a person who is standing up higher than the people he is holding off, okay? So he's in a position of advantage to me, okay? Because here's a cliff. The people that are pointing their staffs at him are below the cliff. He looks like he's able to fight them off, and he is, he's in a fight to me. He looks like he's fighting them off, but he will definitely be victorious because he has the advantage of being high over them. And you may also notice here the water. He has got his feet each on one side of the water. He's up high on a cliff, and he's holding off the competition or the rivalry or the people he's fighting. And then we have the 8 of Wands. Now, here we have 8 wands flying through the air. What does that mean to you? 8 wands flying through the air means something is happening now to me. It's happening now. And if wands are flying through the air, they're not going to be up there forever. They're going to move fast. Whatever this is going to happen quickly. We also have a river in the front. There's a hill with a house on it in the background. And a lot of these happen to have hills or mountains in the background. Some with houses or castles on them, some without. So maybe that has some meaning for you. The 9 of Swords. Now this man looks like he has been through it. Okay, he's got a bandage on his head. He's holding his wand up. He's got wands behind him. He looks like he's thinking, what's coming next? Okay, what am I going to have to face next? But at the same time, he's not giving up. He's got support behind him, and he is standing strong. He's not giving up. He's not quitting. He's just waiting for the next foot to fall. Then we have the Ten of Wands. And the Ten of Wands, here's a man carrying a big burden. Okay, so, and we'll talk about the meanings of the numbers. We will talk about the Rider-Waite-Smith meanings of the cards and all this. This is just what I'm looking at, and this is what you should do. Now, when you look at these cards, you may notice something totally different, and that's fine. That's using your intuition. Okay, to me, this man's carrying a heavy burden, but here's the thing. He's bent over. He's been working hard, obviously. But look, here's the house. He's almost there. He's almost home. He's almost ready to deliver these this burden to wherever he's going. So that is actually, it's a burden, but it's hopeful because it's almost over with. Okay, then we have the Page. Now, this is a youngish looking person. They are, to me, when they face to the right, that they're facing the future. They're looking at their prospects. They've got their budding wand. They're like, okay, what is out there for me? You know, what have I got coming in the future? He's kind of looking kind of dapper with his hat with a feather on it. And he looks like he's really ready to face whatever it is. The road behind him has been kind of low level, smoothish. There have been some little, you know, some little bumps, but pretty smooth. Now, as you go into the future, you know, there's hills he's going to have to climb. There's challenges he's going to have to meet. Okay, so that's what the Page says to me. And I'll tell you the meanings of the the court cards in a while. These for the Page, Knight, Queen, and King are the court cards. Now the Knight, this Knight is riding a horse. The horse is rearing. The Knight looks like he's ready to go. He is prepared for whatever it is. He's got his staff, and he is on his way to wherever he's headed. And he's prepared. He's prepared because he's got his armor on. He's got his shield, and he's moving quickly. You can see his feathers blowing back. Okay, so this is a guy on a mission, or a woman, whatever. Either one. So the next person we have is the Queen, and she is sitting on her throne. She's got a sunflower in her hand. She has got her staff with her. She has got the royal lions behind her. She is obviously a queen, a woman of power. And here's this black cat, to me means like a little bit of magic and intuition. So she's obviously a woman in charge, and she uses her intuition to get things done. And last but not least of the court cards, of course, is the King. Again, this is a man of power. He's got a little salamander. What does that mean to you? The salamander is a symbol of a fire element, a fire elemental. And here he's got his staff. He is up on a pedestal, so he's obviously a man of power. He's got a big crown. He has got on the back here, again, are the royal lions. There's the salamander, and he's obviously large and in charge. All right, so that's my first look with you at the cards. Now, I want you to keep this in mind, please, and I'm going to tell you the meanings of the cards according to Rider-Waite-Smith, and the meanings that you may find in your little white book, your guidebook. Okay, number one, please know that you need to read these intuitively. One good thing for you to do is to make a story out of it. Tell yourself a story. Like, okay, here's this guy. He's looking at his prospects in the world, and he's kind of making plans. He's seeing what's out there. What might he like to do? What does he want? What are his goals? And then he's made plans. He's been working. He's looking to see if his ship is coming in. Are things happening yet? Do I need to change my plans? Do I need to do something else? Then he has a celebration of some sort. Maybe he gets married. Maybe he goes to a wedding. Maybe he's celebrating the stability that came from what he worked for. And then and then he ends up having some problems, some minor difficulties, but he ends up being victorious over those, and he gets a lot of accolades for what he's done. But again, as always, you know, problems arise, but he knows that he's on top of it and he can take care of this problem. Then things start happening fast. Big things come, big changes, big messages. He gets through it. He survives, and he's hanging in there. And he's like, okay, I've made it this far. I can make it to the end. He carries his burden all the way to the end. He's almost home, and he makes it. Okay. And then we already talked about the meanings of the pages. So, well, you know what? We're going to come back to these because these are kind of different, and they're really not part of this story as such. But for A's through 10, in any of the suits, you can make a story to go with it. Okay, this helps you to visualize what's going on in the card. You can also say to yourself, what does this card remind you of? Okay, maybe this card reminds you of a toga party you went to in college, and they had garlands strung around, people were wearing their togas, and this just reminds you of a fun party. And maybe that's what this is going to mean to you. Maybe that is what that card will mean to you. Okay, so pick out your things that are important in the cards, what they mean symbolically to you. Most important thing. Okay, now we're going to go. What does the book say? What does any book say? Well, the first thing you're going to use, there are three other ways other than what I've said, other than your intuition, which is the most important. Okay, so we're going to look at the element of the card. Each suit has an element, and the element of the suit of wands happens to be fire. Okay, the suit of wands is the suit of fire. You can tell there's a lot of yellows. In some decks, they really have a color correspondence between the suit and the colors on the cards. Okay, so wand suits are oftentimes bright yellows, reds, oranges, and the suit of wands as the fire suit represents energy, motivation, and passion. Okay, wands cards often come up in readings about life purpose, spirituality, creativity, new ideas, and things that you are super passionate about. Okay, if I didn't mention life purpose, that's one of them. All right, so the second thing we look at, so we look at the suit. We know it's a fire suit. It's fiery, it's passionate. Okay, that comes through. Okay, for example, this man is passionate about his business opportunity, whatever he's working on here, that he's looking for the results. This person was passionate about whatever he did that brought him the victory here. Okay, this person was passionate enough. He was strong, and he kept going. He used his inner strength to keep going with his burden until he got to the end. All right, now each number from 1 through 10 has a numerological meaning. So aces generally represent new beginnings, new opportunities, or potential. Okay, in the area that the suit represents. This might mean, since this is wands, this might mean new potential, new opportunities in the area of something that you're passionate about, okay? In the area of something spiritual, something that you want, a creative project, okay? So that might be how we relate this. Okay, twos are all about balance, partnership, and duality. These are the numerological meanings, and you may use this in your readings to read the cards. Threes are all about creativity, groups. They can be about groups and growth, okay? The number 4 is all about structure, stability, and manifestation. All right. Then we go to 5s. 5 is about change, instability, and conflict. And no matter how well things are going, you know, everything hits a rut. We always have challenges. That's what life's about. And by the way, these being minor arcana cards are about everyday happenings in your life. So these are everyday things that happen. Okay, so 6s are all about communication, cooperation, and harmony. 7s are about reflection, assessment, and knowledge. So in this, he's assessing the situation. He knows what he has to do to get through this, or he's going to find out. 8 is all about mastery, action, accomplishment. And this card speaks to me all about action. Something's just really happening fast. And then 9s are about fruition, attainment, and fulfillment. So he has attained stability. He has been victorious. He is fulfilling his purpose, and he's hanging in there. And then 10s are all about completion, the end of a cycle, and renewal. So he is about to complete his task and reach the end of his cycle so that he can get home or get to where he's going and be renewed and get some rest. All right, now we are going to look at the court cards. And now the court cards can mean two different things. The court cards can be about you. This can be an aspect of your personality, or it can be about a person in your life or in the person you're reading for's life. Now, you're going to have to determine this when you do the reading. So the page, if it's a nut, can represent a person who is a young person. They're starting out, they're excited, they're learning, and they have their goals. Now, that's if it's another person besides the person who's you're doing the reading for, or yourself. A page can also usually represents a younger person, like maybe anywhere from like under like teens, early 20s, even kids sometimes, but usually it's at least teenagers. Now this can also be, a page can also represent the youthful part of you. Someone who's excited. When you're excited about learning new things, you embody the energy of the page, okay? So you see how that could be you or your person that you're reading for. Okay, the knight is generally someone who is goal-oriented and they're on a mission. All right, let's go back to the page for a second. So the page, since this is the suit of wands, is someone who is wanting to learn about something that they're passionate about, okay? They're wanting to learn about maybe something spiritual, something that they're very interested in, something that lights their fire. All right, back to the knight. Now the knight is generally a person on a mission, okay? This is a person who is working to reach their goal. They're moving forward. They're moving toward their goal. And the suit, being the suit of wands, which is fire, says to me that this person is fiery. They're on fire. They're ready to get their goal, and they're moving toward it with passion and excitement. And that could be, like I said, that could be a person in your life or the person you're reading for's life, or this could represent how you or the person you're reading for is feeling right now. It could be them or it could be another person. Same thing with the queen and king. Now the queen is usually, and the knights are usually like someone, late 20s to 30s. And the queens and the kings are usually mature people, I'd say over 35, okay, if they're another person. Now, the energy of the queen is this. The queens are always nurturing. They are nurturing, they are passionate, but she's nurturing along with the element of being fiery, being creative, being very charismatic, okay? Because that has to do with the suit of wands and the element of fire, okay? And that's the queen. But she is also, very nurturing and mature and in charge. And the king is also usually representing a mature man, 35 or older. He is a person who is in control of his passions. He is in control of himself. He is a leader. He is a person in the case of the wands. He, like I said, he's a person who's in charge of his passions, in charge of projects. He is a very creative person, and he is a very strong leader as well. All right, so that is a brief description of the suit of wands. So, and every suit is going to have ace through king, ace through 10, and page, knight, king, queen. So, when you read from the suit of wands, keep in mind, it's the suit of fire, about passion, spirituality, creativity, anything that lights your fire, so to speak. All right, and you want to remember, you you know, and you can do this any way you want, and there's no wrong way. And like I said, the most important thing is to use your intuition. You can also consider the numerology meanings of the numbers, and you can also, you can look at the little white book too. And I'm really not going to do that right now because you're free to do that. I think the important thing to remember is don't try to memorize all the meanings and stress yourself out about it, okay? Because what it means to you is what's important. All right, so let's look now at the Light Seers Tarot. And we have got Ace and the same cards. And let's just look here and see how they relate to each other. The Light Seers Tarot is also based on the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. And so we look at the Ace, and we have the Ace of Wands. Okay, here, instead, sorry, I'm trying to get that so you can see it. Here, instead of the wand, we have a fire that's like the seed of a beginning. Remember, this is about beginnings and opportunities. There's a beginning of something in her head that she is passionate about. And this is an opportunity for whatever this thing is to grow, okay? She's on it. And each different deck you have will take the same card and give it a little different spin. Okay, so it kind of means the same thing. It still means opportunity. It still means a vision, a beginning, okay, a spark of creativity or a spark of an idea. Okay, it basically means the same thing. And so once you are familiar with the Rider-Waite images and what the traditional meanings of the Rider-Waite cards, you can read any Rider-Waite based deck. But the nice thing is about this is there's something different that you may notice about it, okay, that you're going to notice about each deck. So this focuses on a new opportunity for growth, and this focus on a spark of a brilliant idea. At least that's what it says to me. Okay, Two of Wands, again, compare the two. We have a person who's looking out, looking to the future in both. And when you look at this card, she's got her globe, he's got his globe, but she also has, there's a van here that looks like it's ready to go. So there's an element of travel in this card. There's an element of where in the world do I want to be, okay? So that is what that says to me as well. Okay, the Three of Wands, we've got this lady who's surfing. She's looking out over the water. In the other card, he's looking out over the water, so you can see the similarities and the same meaning is she's looking out. Hey, is my wave coming in? He's saying, is my ship coming in? All right? And she's got the fire there, too. I like this. These are wands on fire. Okay, so here we have a celebration. Here we have a celebration. We also have the element of stability with the Four Wands here. So see how they're similar? Okay, here are the Five of Wands with the, this one shows again the conflict, the competition. Then we have the Six of Wands. Victory. Here's the wreath of victory again. She's victorious about something. And see how the Light Seers Tarot, I don't know if I showed you that, the Light Seers Tarot is more modern and it's very, very relatable. Some people think that the images in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck are just so old-fashioned-y and everything. But to me, they're just plain and clear. And they're just a good base for your knowledge of tarot. And here is the Seven of Wands. Okay, the Seven of Wands, you can see the similarities. She is facing conflict. There's some wands pointing at her, but she is zenned out and she's meditating and she knows that she's got this. All right, here's the Eight of Wands. Again, they both to me represent very fast movement, fast motion. Wow, wow, just wow. That's really fast movement in that one. I love it. All right, and then we have the Nine of Wands. Again, she's been through it, but she's standing strong. She is like, I'm not quitting now. I've come this far. I can do this. All right, and then we have the Ten of Wands. Okay, and this person, oh, they've got a big burden. They're carrying, they're there. They've got their burden. They've come all this way, and they're almost there. They're almost there at their goal. The Page of Wands. This is, again, like a young person. She looks super excited. She is like, wow, you know, what's the world got in store for me? I want to follow this idea, see where it takes me. Then we have the Knight of Wands. Again, she's someone on a mission. She is, you know, getting herself all excited. She's on her way. She's making her plan. She's on fire, going for her goals. We have the Queen. This is a beautiful Queen of Wands. She has got the fire in her hand, and she is in charge. She's relaxed. She's beautiful. She's charismatic, and she's on fire. I love it. And finally, the King of Wands. He is in control. And this lion represents his strength. And you know what? There's a lion standing behind him, and he's like, I'm not worried about it. I've got everything under control. I've got my fire under control. I've got my passion under control. I've got my strength under control. And I'm large and in charge. All right. So that is a brief look at the suit of Wands. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that you learned a lot. And I hope you understand that the most important thing, I can't even say this enough, the most important thing is using your intuition to interpret the cards, okay? It's what the card energy says to you that you pass on to the person you're reading for, okay? All right, well, I appreciate you joining me. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and please consider subscribing to my channel.